Good morning. It is 6:43. Welcome back to Great Day. It is Tuesday, 22nd of September, and Tuesdays about this time every week we visit with our good friend Ron, the car guy.
Yes, he can.
From Westside Auto Pros, and always learn something every time you're here. So we're looking forward to learning something again this morning.
And I like teaching a little bit. I like sharing some important things. Today I want to talk about we're rolling into probably one of the busiest times of the year for tire sales. People are aware that winter's coming on. We need good traction and you know, tires that they maybe were kind of getting along with or getting by on through the summertime. They're starting to look at replacing. So as we roll into, you know, October, the first part of November, we always see a big spike in tire sales. And one of the things that kind of pains me is while we sell tires, so does everybody else. I mean, you can buy tires pretty much anywhere. But what we see a lot is people buy tires, they have the tires installed, and they never have the alignment on the vehicle checked. And nothing will ruin new tires faster than the vehicle being out of an alignment. So I want to talk a little bit this morning about alignments. And we've got a picture here. The first thing is, what is an alignment? And as you can see, the car on the top left, it shows the tires, what they call toe in, and the outside is toe out. And basically that's adjustments as to when you're driving down the road. Are the tires pointed straight ahead? Are they slightly pointed in?
But Ron, why aren't they just straight?
And that's a whole different discussion. Talks about the handling of the vehicle. You can also see on the bottom there's another adjustment as to whether or not the tire sits straight up or straight down. And I'm sure from your experience in the race truck, Lou, I mean, the alignments that you put on there, because it's going in a circle, are completely different than what we use on the road. But you know, going
and the
back,
camber too, the camber for the corners.
Absolutely. And every car is different. Every car has manufacturer specs as to how it should be aligned. But we want the alignment to be correct. You know, you want it to be slightly towed in, so when it goes down the road and the force tries to push it out, they actually end up being straight. And so these are very, very small adjustments. I mean, sometimes they're just a few millimeters, but it's what keeps the car pointed straight, and more importantly, the tire's sitting straight up and down, and it's pointed straight forward, so it doesn't wear off the edge.
Now we're talking, what, 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch?
Or less.
Or less.
Sometimes.
Yeah, or less.
Yeah, I mean,
it's very minute.
You can't see it.
Yeah.
You can't look at the if you can look at the car and say, wow, these tires are out of alignment, something's bent.
That's really bad.
There's a bigger problem, and alignment's not going to fix it. And you can't always feel it. You know, they say, you know, sometimes you drive down the road, my car, you know, wants to drift to the left or drift to the right.
Steering wheel's shaking a little bit.
And that's a sign that it needs an alignment, and that's true. But these adjustments are so minute. There's times you drive it down the road and you don't notice that the car, or you're used to how it drives, because it occurs over time as you hit bumps and the suspension settles. I mean, the alignment changes a little bit, so you don't know this. And you're driving down the road and you think the car is driving just fine, it feels fine,
right.
And meanwhile you just dropped $600 on a set of tires, and you're just scrubbing the edge right off of those tires.
So you answered my next question. How much does an average set of tires cost? About $600 for an average set of tires, but how much for an alignment then?
An alignment, depending on the vehicle, is going to run between $80 and $100.
Yeah.
And to put a set of new tires on a car and not do an alignment, it would be almost as bad as changing the oil in your car and not putting a new filter on. I mean, it just doesn't make sense.
That's a good analogy. Yeah.
And it's a valid analogy, because tires cost a lot of money. I mean we're looking, you know, $120 to $150 a tire on average, and why would you spend that kind of money only to go out and damage them? And depending how far the alignment's off, I mean, you can ruin a tire or a pair of tires in a few thousand miles.
Now, I always hear there's a debate, because some people can't always afford 4 tires, so they get 2. Should those brand new tires go on the front, or should they go on the back of the vehicle?
That's an awesome debate. The correct answer is, if you're only buying 2 tires, the new tires should always go on the rear of the vehicle.
Even if it's a
Front-wheel drive
front-wheel
car,
drive, thank you.
absolutely. And that's where the debate comes in, because people are like, well, the front-wheel drive car, the traction tires, the gripping tires are up on the front. We want the new tires with the best tread up
Right.
front. You can find it on YouTube. You can go type in that debate. And there will be videos on there that were conducted by one of the major manufacturers, Michelin or Goodyear, if we can say their name on the air. But
I don't think you can.
We can't. Okay, from a major tire
you don't say
manufacturer.
Firestone, 'cause they were here.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, so we won't mention any
Really?
manufacturers, but a manufacturer, but they do have YouTube videos on there. And the concern is the new tires have more grip. And what's going to happen is the back of the car, it's going to lock the wheels up because they're grabbing pavement, even on a front-wheel drive car, and it'll cause it to skid and lose control. And so the tire manufacturers, the people that make the tires, and in my opinion, they probably know the most about their product.
Right.
The tire manufacturers say if you're doing two, always put them on the rear.
Always on the back.
Yep.
There you go.
That should answer that question then.
Boom.
Perfect.
Now we're getting to the time of year too when people start thinking about not installing snow tires.
Yes.
And you guys have kind of a neat system down there where they can get them, and you guys will store the other tires.
Get them and forget them. Absolutely. Yeah, if you buy your winter tires, which for those that have never experienced 4 winter tires on a vehicle, it's like the Iowa State Fair. You can't explain it. You have to experience it. It is phenomenal, the traction and handling.
It's like
you
putting
get.
a new pair of gym shoes on and playing basketball. The traction is that good.
Exactly. Even if you aren't good at basketball.
They make that squeaking noise.
But if you do buy your winter tires from us, the very first question I hear whenever we talk about snow tires or winter tires to people is, well, what am I going to do with my other tires? Because you got to put them in the back seat of the car, you got to haul them home. If you were to purchase them from us, we store them.
Now, when should people be doing this? When should they put their snow tires on or winter tires on?
Before it snows.
Obviously, before it's
And before Jason says it's going to snow, because we have your winter tires in stock, and Jason says it's going to snow 4 inches tomorrow, and everybody wants to come in the day before,
Right.
and we're full.
Right.
So,
But there's some tires that are really good on snow, like the Blizzaks.
Yes,
You
yes.
have to be careful. You don't want to put those on too early because you wear them out.
absolutely, the dry pavement will wear them out. I usually tell people sometime around the first week of November, start thinking about putting your snow tires on. And if you buy them from us, we'll store them. We have a mezzanine, and we'll store your off-season tires. So we'll store the snow tires there, or we can store the summer tires there, whichever ones you aren't using. And that just saves you the hassle of having to take them home, bring them back, put them in bags, stack them in the garage, all that kind of stuff. But we're rolling into snow tire season. The other thing to keep in mind about snow tires is when they're gone, they're gone. So like most of the manufacturers that make snow tires, they've already started making them, or there might even be wrapping up making them. So there's only so many out there. And if you wait until December, January to buy a set of snow tires, they get hard to find. I mean, you can find them, but we end up shipping them in from other parts of the country, and then you have freight on a tire.
Little
and
extra cost.
Exactly.
So we're talking about alignments with new tires, something we should all be thinking about this time of year. But is there a certain amount of times we should think about alignments besides just when we're getting new tires?
Well, ideally, annually is a good time to align your car, especially right after pothole season in
Yeah.
the spring, because that's really what does in your alignment.
Right.
But even if you had it done this spring, if you're buying new tires and someone quotes you, X amount of dollars to put tires on your car, just say, does that include an alignment?
Okay.
You wouldn't, again, we're back to the analogy. You wouldn't change your oil and not change the filter. You really should not put new tires on a car and not align it. I mean, you want them to last.
There you go.
All
Good
right.
thing to think about.
Now, any other questions people have? How do they get a hold of you?
They can get a hold of me at askronthecarguy.com, or we've got some information up on the screen. Our website's westsideautopros.com, and we still do answer a telephone.
You do?
Yeah,
good for
kind
you.
of old
How novel
school.
that is, huh? There you go. You have little plugs and you plug them in like
Our phones actually do plug into the wall, so at least at work.